Hey, it's Chelsea. Thank you so much for being here. In this video, we're just going to be taking a quick look at some of the bigger astrological energies that we will be working through this Pisces season. It is going to be a very intense and transformational period of time that we are working through. And it's like we have stepped into this portal that is Pisces season. And by the time we get to the end of it, our lives are going to be completely different. Pisces is the final sign of the zodiac. So, in itself, it is already connected to completions, culminations, and cycles ending. But this Pisces season in particular, we will be closing out and completing cycles that we have been moving through for months and even years. So, this is going to be a deep cleanse and release in order to clear out and make space for the new experiences that we want to be welcoming into our lives. So we started off this Pisces season with a new moon, and it was forming an out of sign conjunction with Saturn at the end degrees of Aquarius. And so around this time already, likely many of us have already been getting glimpses of what exactly Saturn and Pisces is going to be bringing into our lives, both individually and collectively. During this new moon, we also had Venus at the 29th degree of Pisces, forming an activating and harmonious sextile with Pluto at the final degrees of Capricorn. So this is a month of powerful culminations, cycles ending, but also at the same time, new cycles beginning. So from February 27th until March 7th, we are going to be in a very intense period of time as both Saturn and Pluto will be at the 29th degree, the anaretic or critical degree of Capricorn and Aquarius. So pay attention to those areas in your chart because this is where we are seeing big cycles culminating and a lot completing. Saturn has been in the sign of Aquarius. It first entered into Aquarius March 2020. And so this is an energy that we are tying up. Pluto first entered the sign of Capricorn all the way back in 2008. And so these are the kinds of cycles that we are going to experience a completion of during this Pisces season. As Saturn and Pluto are both at these very powerful degrees of these signs, we're going to be seeing a lot breaking down in the collective. I mean, a lot of people are feeling on edge as we have literally reached the edge of these degrees and these signs. I mean, Pluto has not been at this part of Capricorn since 1777. And there's a lot that is happening. There's a lot breaking down in our lives. There's a lot of power that we are able to step into as we are experiencing these challenges or these obstacles in our lives. Let's not forget that we are in a period of all planets direct until April 20th. And so we do want to be taking action right now, no matter how challenging things get or no matter how much it seems like life is blocking us. It is these experiences that are going to offer us the ability to have persistence and dedication and be consistent. It's like the universe is asking us, how badly do you really want whatever it is that you are trying to experience in your life? And that's where these challenges are coming up from. And as we face these challenges and obstacles, that's when we are really going to be tapping into this powerful inner strength that we didn't even realize that we had. Pisces is a very spiritual sign. And so this is a time when many of us are going to be reaching deep within ourselves to truly understand our roles in this new reality that we are moving into and to truly understand why it is that we have these visions, these dreams that we want to experience. And as we understand that at a more deeper level, then that's when we're able to really have our why, as they say, and to really understand what it is that is pulling us, like this magnetic energy that is pulling us towards our desires. And so the more that we surrender and truly trust this experience, and I mean, we are going to be having to take risks right now. This is not a time to be just comfortable, to be doing things for the sake of them feeling good, because a lot of these changes that we want to have in our lives, they require great risks and taking chances. And that's when we're really going to be seeing the blessings unfold in our lives. And so March 7th is when Saturn is going to be entering into the sign of Pisces. And this is less than an hour after the full moon in Virgo. So this full moon in Virgo is going to be bringing with it a deep release. It's like there's just like so much tension, so much energy that is being brought up to the surface. And I mean, we are seeing this in the collective. We're seeing this within our own lives. Like there's so much energy that is just bubbling up from deep beneath all of us right now, that is just waiting to be activated, waiting to be expressed. And this Virgo full moon is going to be bringing a big release. And yeah, I just find that so interesting that less than 1 hour after the full moon in Virgo is when we are going to be seeing Saturn enter into the sign of Pisces for the first time in 25 years, over 25 years. So definitely look into your chart, see where Pisces is within your chart, the very beginning of Pisces, to understand this new energy that you are going to be working with, to understand what the next 3 years may mean for you. Like I said, the new moon in Pisces, like by then or even before then, we've already been catching glimpses of what Saturn in Pisces is going to be meaning for us. And it's just so interesting. It's this very interesting dynamic. And Pisces, I mean, it's duality. It's the two fish swimming in opposite directions. And Saturn, it's all about limitations and structures and borders. And then when it enters into the sign of Pisces, it's going to be very dissolving. And we're going to be seeing a lot of borders dissolving. And we're going to be seeing a lot of limitations and just a lot of things like energies bleeding into each other. There's going to be less separation in many ways. And so also this month, we are going to be seeing a big shift happening with Mars. Mars has been in the sign of Gemini since August 20th, 2022. And that is a long time for Mars to be making its way through a sign. And so in this Pisces season, we are going to be seeing Mars move from 16 degrees to 27 degrees. And so during this time, we're finally going to be out of the shadow that Mars has been moving through. Mars has still been in its retrograde shadow, and it's finally going to be moving beyond that March 15th. And so look to your chart to see where 25 degrees of Gemini is, to really understand where there's going to be a lot of forward momentum and action taking place. Because even though Mars has been direct, it's been moving very slowly up until this season. That's when it's going to finally start gaining speed once again. And I mean, this Mars retrograde, Mars stationed retrograde all the way back in October 30th. And it was sandwiched between the eclipses that we had. The solar eclipse was October 25th, and then we had the lunar eclipse November 7th or 8th. And so it was right between that time when we saw Mars station retrograde at 25, 24 degrees and some minutes of Gemini. And so ever since then, we've been working through this cycle of having to backtrack, having to understand when it's best for us to take action, or when we need to trust and be patient, and to really be strategic in the way that we take action, so that we aren't getting burnt out, so that we aren't wasting our energy or just like spinning our wheels and not going anywhere. And so this is going to be bringing a big completion. I mean, yeah, Mars entered Gemini all the way back in August. Like, how different was your life back then? What were you experiencing? I mean, likely many of us thought we were going to be going down one path, and then something unexpected happened, because this was when we were still working through. I mean, in October was the final Saturn Uranus square. And so that really was shaking up our realities in a lot of ways. So it was like we were expecting to be going down one path, but then our expectations were disrupted and changes were brought into our lives. But so we also saw Mars square Neptune in Pisces for the first time in October, and then it happened again in November. And so Mars is going to leave its shadow on the 15th of March. The following day is going to be the third and final square with Neptune. But this time, it's going to be an exact conjunction with Neptune, the Sun, and Mercury, all squaring Mars in Gemini. And so this is going to be an energy of, I mean, Mars has just been waiting to move forward, waiting to take action, waiting to be moving, accelerating in the way that it likes to be moving and accelerating. And then the day after it clears its shadow, it's met with this resistance, with this tension from 3 planetary bodies in Pisces. And so, I mean, that's going to be a very powerful period of time. And also on this day, as the Sun, Mercury, and Neptune are square Mars, we're also going to be under the influence of Venus at 29 degrees of Aries square Pluto at 29 degrees. And so this is going to be a powerful, I mean, release, just burst of energy. It could be disruptive. So pay attention to your chart. Also think back to what might have been going on in your life in October and November of 2022, because this was when the first Mars and Neptune squares happened. And so this is going to be the third and final square, which is going to be culminating that energy and bringing with it a completion. But yeah, I mean, it could be a very disruptive time. It could be a time of challenges, of friction. So look to your chart to see where 25 degrees of Gemini is, as well as 25 degrees of Pisces, because that's where there's going to be this friction and this tension taking place, and where potential challenges could arise. And also take note of 29 degrees of Aries in your chart. And that's going to be really bringing a powerful release of Pluto at the 29th degree of Capricorn. So then a few days after this, the final day of Pisces season on the 20th, Venus will conjunct the North Node while the Sun sextiles Pluto. And so this is why I had said that this Pisces season is going to be creating space, is going to be releasing, culminating, making space for the new realities that we are going to be moving into. Because once Venus conjuncts the North Node, like that is our desires, like that is what we want to be creating, that is us moving towards that energy. And so I mean, it's like it's going to be like the light at the end of the tunnel, like all of these well, in a way, but like all of these challenges, obstacles, as we have overcome them, they're all going to start making sense. And all of the challenges and obstacles that we've been facing for months, like since the summer of 2022, when Mars first entered Gemini, and even since like I had said, like Pluto first entered Capricorn in 2008. Think about how different our life was back then. Think about how different the world was back then. And that's a cycle that we are going to be reaching the end of, the very end of this Pisces season. So on the 23rd, so Pisces season, as I had mentioned, it ends on the 20th. Or I'm sorry, wait a minute. Okay. Aries season begins on the 20th. And so a few days after that, I'm sorry. The final day of Pisces season is on the 20th. So Aries season starts on the 21st. 2 days after that, on the 23rd, is when Pluto, for the first time in our lives, is going to enter in to the sign of Aquarius. And so this is going to be bringing with it a big shift of energy. And on the 25th, 2 days after Pluto enters Aquarius, we are going to see Mars finally leave the sign of Gemini and enter into Cancer. And so this is going to be creating a water trine with Saturn and the South Node. And so Saturn and Mars are going to be sextile the North Node. And so at this point, it's like, are you ready to take the leap and leave the old timeline behind? Are you really ready? Are you ready to take the risks that are going to be required of you, to take the chances, to believe in your higher vision, to believe in yourself enough to make these powerful changes and to bring this transformation into your life? And I mean, that's a lot of the energy of Pisces. Pisces is, what do you believe? Our thoughts are so powerful. Our thoughts are so powerful. They really frame our perception of the world. And so really ask yourself, what do you believe in right now? What do you believe you are capable? What do you dream of? What do you envision? And what do you want to create in this life? And I mean, the beautiful thing about Pisces is all of the signs of the zodiac pour their energy into Pisces. Pisces is like this melting pot. And so within that lies infinite potential and infinite possibilities. And that is what we are working with this Pisces season. But in order for us to tap into this energy of limitless possibilities, we have to ask ourselves, what do we believe in? What do we believe? What do we believe is real? And that can be either the duality of it, that can be either very powerful or very detrimental. So really remember that we create the lives we create our life based off of what we believe. Our beliefs are so powerful, and it's just really important to stay firmly grounded during this time, to stay connected to our vision, to ourselves, to our beliefs, so that we don't get swept away at sea, so that we don't get lost in the deception, the manipulation. We can deceive and manipulate ourselves, but also be aware of the external deception, manipulation, propaganda, illusion, lies. These are things that we may face, especially in the days when the aspects are very intense, like the 16th, when we have all of those squares happening in the chart. Like that could be a very explosive time in our lives, individually and collectively. But it can also be much needed friction that we in our lives that enables us to move towards the change that we want, and that nudges us out of our comfort zone so that we can move beyond our comfort zone. And I mean, when I think about Pluto and Capricorn, like, because Capricorn being ruled by Saturn, and Saturn having to do with these limitations and structures and boundaries, like, we can create limitations in our minds that prevent us from moving towards the realities that we want to experience. We can create limitations in our minds that keep us trapped in cycles, that keep us trapped in the past, and that prevent us from moving forward. And so that's the beautiful thing with Pisces, is it is a very dissolving energy. And so we have an ability right now to really dissolve and clear out all of the just the limitations that we create for ourselves in our minds. And that's why dreaming and allowing ourselves to imagine and envision right now is so important. Something that we are going to experience over the next few years of Saturn and Pisces is going to be this energy of really tapping into spirituality in order to move us towards where it is that we want to be going in our lives, and in order to just give us the faith that we need in order to believe the visions that we have, to believe the versions of ourselves that we dream to be, to dream what we desire to experience. Like, this is just such a beautiful, mysterious period of time that we have entered into. And I truly do believe it's a portal. There's just so much change that is happening right now. I mean, we're really entering into the end of an era. Pluto moving into the sign of Aquarius is going to be a process, because as I've mentioned before, we're not going to see Pluto stay in the sign of Aquarius until December 2024. But this is the beginning of that big shift of energy. And so throughout the next year and a half or so, this is a really powerful time to be breaking down all of the limitations that we have placed in our lives or placed in our mind, and to be liberating and freeing ourselves from them so that we can move beyond what we ever would have dreamed for ourselves. And so, yeah, I mean, also we're seeing in the collective, another thing that Pisces season can bring is like mental illness, mental challenges, and addictions. And so it's really important to stay grounded, to stay centered in ourselves right now, so that we do not get lost in addictions or bad habits that are detrimental to ourselves and to the realities that we want to be experiencing. It's really important to not get lost in that right now, because the more that we are moving into our addictions this Pisces season, or even with Saturn and Pisces, the more that is going to create illusions in our lives. Like, our vision, our perception is going to be distorted and impacted in a negative way. And so we want to do what we can to really nurture ourselves to I feel like also the reason why a lot of times we lean into substances or addictions, and addiction can be, I mean, it can be like a social media addiction. We can be addicted to different things. It doesn't just have to be substances, but oftentimes when we immerse ourselves in that, it's because we want to be experiencing something deeper. We want to be expanding our consciousness so that we have a different perception of reality. But there's a lot of natural ways that we can change our perceptions of reality and expand our consciousness as well. And like tapping into different spiritual, different things that connect us to our spirituality and connect us more deeply to ourselves, so that we can understand ourselves at a more deeper level. I mean, like breath work can be really powerful. Meditating, utilizing sound, like singing bowls, tuning forks, sound meditations, visualizing, guided meditation, past life regression, I think over the next few years is going to be a very powerful tool with Saturn in Pisces, because we really do need to be breaking down our old, outdated belief systems, old, outdated patterns right now, and cleansing that and purging that so that we are able to enter into the beautiful new experiences, new realities that we dream for ourselves in this life. And also, I mean, other things that can assist us in moving or in connecting, moving through this energy, but also connecting more deeply to ourselves and to our spirituality. I mean, anything having to do with movement, anything creative right now. Pisces is so creative and imaginative. Anything like writing, poetry, especially where you're like connecting into the stream of consciousness to really get deeper beneath our conscious mind and to move into our subconscious. That's why I had mentioned past life regression, so that we can move beyond the limitations that we have created for ourselves in our mind. And because as we move beyond those limitations, we are going to be moving beyond what we ever could have even dreamed for ourselves and into really beautiful, amazing new realities for ourselves. So, yeah, I think that's pretty much all of what I want to say. And also, don't forget, like, anytime that challenges arise, do not let that prevent you from taking action and from moving towards the reality that you want to be creating in your life right now. All planets direct, like, there is so much medicine in taking action right now. There's also a big emphasis on Aries. There's a lot of planets in Aries right now. I mean, we've got Venus, Jupiter, Juno, Eris. I think I'm missing one. I think there's even another asteroid there as well. And so um, taking action, like, we do not have to wait for the end of the astrological year to take action. We don't have to wait for Pisces season so that we can start moving into the spring of our lives. We can be taking action and moving into new things now. We want to be initiating that change now. The energy for the last several months has been keep taking one step forward, keep taking steps, even if you're not able to see the entire journey right now. Keep taking a step as it makes sense to you, as you receive the inspiration that guides you to the action that you need to take, the inspired action. Just keep taking a step, and the next step will reveal itself. That's the thing about Pisces season, is this mystery. We don't know where we are going. We have entered into this portal. We have entered into the abyss, and we don't know what the other side of it looks like. But we can trust ourselves, and we can believe. We can believe our higher vision, believe what it is that we want to experience, and just keep taking those steps, keep taking the action. And soon enough, the entire journey will reveal itself to you. And then it's like, wow, now that makes sense. Now I know why I did that. Just keep trusting your intuition. Keep trusting what is guiding you right now. That's the other thing about Pisces. It is so intuitive. This is a great time to be understanding the spiritual gifts and abilities that we each have that are so unique to ourselves. And it's through creating that space and connecting to ourselves when we are able to uncover and reveal these beautiful, mysterious spiritual abilities that we each have that are so unique to us. And so, yeah, just believe in the possibilities and trust in yourself, and trust in the universe. Trust where you are being guided right now. Trust whatever it is that is pulling you, because there's just this very powerful energy of creating whole new realities right now. And no matter what challenges or obstacles may arise, that is what is going to be building our strength. So yeah, I am wishing you a beautiful, magical, transformative, just truly beautiful Pisces season. And I hope you're excited for the change that is coming. And because I am very excited for the change that this Pisces season is going to be bringing. And even just Saturn in Pisces, I'm excited for that as well. And I will probably be making a separate video about Saturn and Pisces. So look out for that as well. And thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate all of you so much. I appreciate everyone subscribing and the likes and the comments. I truly do enjoy connecting with each of you as well. So never shy away from leaving a comment. So thank you so much, and I'll see you next time.